The Fall Guy was so much fun. That soundtrack, it got me excited. It literally made me watch other movies to hear the bands play music from the film. And the fun thing is, Josiah also watched The Fall Guy, and so he will be here after the ad read and after the open rolls, and we will talk about The Fall Guy. Whether it's your first time here or you're a regular here at Mr. Super Oz, I just want to thank you for tuning in to the channel. It exists because I, Oz, from the channel Mr. Super Oz, I wrote a 68-page graphic novel called Everlasting Survivors. Volume 1 is called All Day Long. If you follow the link in the description of this video, you can get yourself hats, shirts, posters, all kinds of fun things. But most importantly, you can get the story itself. And the more people that pick up the story, the greater the chances are that there can be continued adventures with these heroes. If you could, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment, enjoy. The Fall Guy, it came out this year. That's why this is a current critique. It ran for 1 hour and 59 minutes, and it was
Such
oh man, I'm gonna spoil the ending because I give this thing a spectacular 6 out of 5 stars. It's my favorite movie I've watched that was released in the year of 2024.
not bad.
And the thing is that the movie, The Fall Guy, is one of the most reoccurring genres in Hollywood that I just can't help but find enjoyment in. Is a movie about making movies, which makes sense given that the Fall Guy is called that because he's a stuntman.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just that, like I said, that niche, that comedy, that fun spot where, yes, you know you're watching a movie, but we're making a movie that you're watching. I always think that's just it's a fun little gag.
I was about to say, get a little giggle, but yeah, even because I get it probably hits closer for you than it would me because like you actually have like a film background, so
Absolutely.
you know all the stuff that goes into it. However, I still got to kick out of it like, this is a movie about a movie. Okay.
Yeah, I just think that's it's just a fun thing.
Yeah, it is.
It'd be like, you know, reading a book about a guy writing a book.
Yeah,
you know,
go.
it's like,
Yeah.
okay, that's funny.
Yeah, you get a chuckle out of it because it takes you into the experience. Like, so for you, you're like you can make common links because like this has been something you've lived. So you're like, okay, I know this process. I know what they're thinking. Me, never lived it, but I'm like now I'm like learning and also seeing it in like a fun new way. Which
Yeah.
is,
Well, and who doesn't like the idea of being right in the action?
yeah, exactly.
That's basically the role that Colt plays. Is every time Aaron Taylor Johnson's leading man character has to do something, it's like, all right, come on in here, Ryan Gosling. It's time for you to shine.
Time for you to do a triple axel backflip and land on your neck.
Oh my goodness. And again, while we're talking about spoilers, because I already told you it's spectacular, go watch the dang thing. While we're talking about spoilers, I love the reveal. When, when it's revealed that the leading man is actually a jealous man, I was like, okay, that is top-notch stuff.
Yeah, it was
because
done very well.
because when Ryan Gosling believed it was an accident that took him out of the game, he was, saddened, yes, but also he didn't want to lie. He loved giving the thumbs up and saying, yeah, I'm all good, but at this point I'm no longer good.
Yeah.
And so that's why he pulled himself away from Jodie, John Krasinski's wife, Emily Blunt. There we go.
Yeah.
I know
You
I
were
was
trying
going
to
to
look
get
for the real name. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm about to say, I actually had the cast list pulled up because I was trying to look and see who all was in this movie.
Yeah, dude. And speaking of in this movie, when Aaron Taylor Johnson's character gets revealed as the nefarious one, then they pull such a wonderful bait and switch at the end. So I thought, oh, we're just gonna let Colt the stuntman be the star of the movie. Right. Nah, he gets recast as Jason Momoa,
which is great.
And it's so fun. And the reason it's so fun is because it's so out of left field. But I'm not against it. I think when you can do something fun, do it.
I'm about to say it's always better to have fun and enjoy the movie, especially because, like, let's be honest, Hollywood's been around for almost 100 years now. So, like, having like these common tropes and then like, we'll just flip it on its head. So it works.
Absolutely.
It's brilliant.
It's
also Jason Momoa's awesome. So.
Oh yeah. Did you know this was formerly a TV show, right?
Nah, that I didn't know.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, The Fall Guy was a TV show back in, I don't know, let's say, I think 81.
Yeah, well, no, I definitely
I don't know. It might be even older than that. I think it was The $1 Million Man.
Really?
Not Ted DiBiase, but the dude who played the TV show $1 Million Man.
Steve Austin.
Yes, exactly. Stone Cold. Stone Cold. No, Lee Majors, I think is what his name was. The actor.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so the TV show Fall Guy, I tried watching.
The $6 Million Man.
Yeah. The $6 Million Man is the what I was trying to say when I said $1 Million Man. But can you see if he also played the Fall Guy? So, but my point was the Fall Guy TV show. I tried watching some of it after I finished this film.
Yes, you did.
Okay, cool. I thought so. And the thing is, it is not my speed, if you will. The trailer that is on YouTube is not enticing, because the thing about this movie and the thing that really brought me in, don't get me wrong, the performances were so much fun, but it was really the soundtrack, because I took a road trip over the weekend, and I was like, oh, what do you want to listen to? I was like, the Fall Guy soundtrack. The Fall Guys. And the musical selections within it were so strong that it even made it so that I put on other movies after watching this. Like, hearing Kiss, I can't remember the name of the song, but it's like, I was made for loving you. It made me want to watch Detroit Rock City. Yeah. And so then I did, which means that next month I'm going to do, or soon, I'm not sure if it'll be next week or in July.
Whenever he gets it out to you good people.
I am going to do a retro review of Detroit Rock City, because one thing leads to another, so Fall Guy, Detroit Rock City, and Detroit Rock City then led to Fanboys. Seeing Sam Huntington in Detroit Rock City and them on a road trip really got me nostalgic for the movie Fanboys, because I think that thing is stellar. I really.
That movie in a long time.
Oh, it's totally worth rewatching if you got the time. But yeah, so like I said, Colt Seavers, he's just such a really good hero within this. He's not out to take the glory. He very much wants to save Jody's movie. Once he finds out that the leading man is gone, he wants to save him. It's like he just makes good decisions, proper decisions. Although
he's a good person, dang it.
And even when he unintentionally takes drugs, like his first question is like, when is this going to stop? And I love the response. It's like, when you stop seeing the unicorns, it'll stop. And it's like, well, that didn't help me at all. It's like, oh, when you stop tripping,
you'll be done tripping, you'll know you're good.
Yeah, you'll know you're done tripping. It's like, oh, come on, man. And but yeah, so many times the fight sequences link so well with the musical, the music playing in the film, whether it be an actual song or just a composed like number. Yeah. And so, no, I really. Did you watch this at home or in theaters?
I watched it at home.
You watched it at home. So me too. But the hashtag me too. The thing was, I so much enjoyed it, and I even saw an ad today that made me think, man, if Fall Guy's still in theaters, because it said it was,
Yeah, I'm about to
I'm
say,
I'm
should be.
strongly considering going to support it because, I supported it by getting it on Vudu. So yes, I support it, but what I mean is actually go to
Spend my money at the theater.
at the theater so as
Helps
to
them more.
like I don't think there needs to be a sequel. This isn't a film where I'm like, oh, I need
Can't
to
wait for part 2.
No,
Yeah.
I think that it's just I want to buy a ticket or more than one to prove a point that even though it seems like it's not doing good,
Yeah, it'll still be showing for a while. So
that's awesome. Yeah, somebody, I forget who it was, might have been Jeff from WCBS, but somebody was saying how that some movies seem like they're going to be failures, and then they have long legs and keep growing as the time goes on. And I just would love for this to be
one of those.
For
sure. Yeah, one of the things that really stuck out for me is like I haven't enjoyed like a soundtrack for a movie, like it hasn't fit as well in a movie since like Baby Driver. I don't know if you ever seen
I
that.
definitely saw Baby
Yeah.
Driver, and it really hit. When it comes to modern day or things that have been released recently
Right.
with great soundtracks, I think that it's hard to beat Guardians of the Galaxy.
100%. Yes.
All three of them were just littered with hits,
Yeah.
and they fit right.
Every single time.
I think that's
Especially if
definitely.
you understand Star-Lord's character,
Mhm,
then it makes it work even more.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that gives me hope for the DC universe and James Gunn's being at the head of it is the fact that I know that he did good stuff. Even with the show I don't like, Peacemaker,
Yeah.
the musical selections were still,
Top notch.
yeah, even when I don't like the show, he still was good at picking music. So,
Like I said, same with Suicide Squad too.
yeah, that's a good shout. That's a good shout. So, yeah.
We'll see what he does.
Yeah, and like, I know that the putting on your boots picture of David Cornsweet is not
Okay.
world breaking or
Pushing the envelope.
yeah, it's not amazing, but it's also not bad. I was not like, I've seen some people like, oh, it looks like he's wearing a costume that's too big, but it's like, I think it's just fine,
Yeah.
and I think that in the proper lighting and hopefully it's all treated well. So, because like one of my biggest complaints with Brandon Routh, because I liked him a lot, but it was as if they were ashamed of him being Superman. Like his logo's all shrunken and his tights are like, we're here but barely. And it's like, can you just saturate the costume and be proud of being
I'm
Superman?
about
Come
to
on
say,
now.
make him a daggone comic book character.
Yeah, like I've seen updated or revised versions, touched up in, I'm sure it's Photoshop probably, but whatever, touched up on the internet, and it's like Brandon Routh just looks right when the saturation is good and the shield is right. So anyway, that's off topic, but yes, I agree with you that Baby Driver, killer soundtrack, and The Fall Guy, so good.
So it's definitely in that upper echelon. Like, because some movies like they'll be all sound like there's definitely a danger of like I'm just watching this movie for the soundtrack and like it not like having any bearing on the actual like film I'm watching. So Fall Guys did a good job of balancing. Hey, we got a great soundtrack, but we can also
Yes.
like keep you engaged.
And yeah, exactly. Wonderful character development, awesome reveals, enjoyable, fun action. But I have to say one more thing about a movie. Now, it's not anywhere near modern, but I have to ask you, have you seen The Losers?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that thing, especially
Yeah.
the Chris Evans scene where he's like finger gunning it, and then
Damn,
it's
I love
Negan,
Losers.
right?
Yeah.
Negan, right? From a distance, he's
Yep.
the one who's taking him out. Man,
Oh
that
my
thing.
God,
I haven't
Losers,
watched
bro.
I haven't watched that thing in a long time, but that's another movie where the audio and the visuals just perfectly match up, and I just big fan.
I'm so glad you reminded me of The Losers. I completely
Of
forgot
course,
about that
yeah,
movie.
it is among my favorite DC comic films
Yeah.
because, well, one, because most people don't even realize,
Yeah.
and two, it was just so surprising. Like
Yeah.
it's one of those things where, man, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about the Fall Guys. I didn't
I'm
see
about
it
to say,
coming.
I didn't see this good movie coming. I don't know if I gave my rating, but if I didn't already, it's a 5 for me.
That's awesome. Yeah,
It's a
5
great
out of
movie.
5. Yeah, you hadn't, and I was gonna ask,
Oh, cool.
but yeah, 5 out of 5 is definitely respectable.
Yeah.
It was so it's funny. I watched The Fall Guy and The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare back to
Oh,
back.
my son, yeah.
And here's the thing about this: it's the first ever double feature that I've done in my lifetime where the second film outshone the first.
Wow.
Every time I'd ever watched back-to-back movies. Now, when I was younger, I would walk to the movie theater in Hawaii, and it was 7 miles one way. And
So he got a good workout in on his way to watch a film.
Exactly, and I would almost always find somebody I knew while I was there, so I'd be like, "Yo, can I get a ride back to base?"
Smart.
But I would watch 2 movies in the outing, and almost always the first one would outshine the second. And I always thought it was due to having something to compare the second one to, meaning that I would be like, "Oh, it's not as good as this because," but in this case, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, while it is good, did not outshine The Fall Guy. And so, if time permitted, I would have gone to see both in theaters, but instead
Right.
I bought them both and watched them on Vudu.
Hey, listen, you got a job, got a wife, have a life.
Well, the thing is, I actually I have 2 paying jobs. I have the comic book writing job, which isn't paying, let's be real, and then this job that also doesn't pay. Although, I gotta tell you a funny story about this job not paying.
Okay.
So, I was hanging out on that road trip I was telling you about with an old friend. I mean, we went to college together, and he was saying how that he knows this website that will estimate what people on YouTube make monetarily. And so, I had to play the game, and I was like, all right, tell me what it says I make. And it estimated that I make money, and I laughed right at this make-believe website, because I'm like, I make nothing. Which is fine. It's a good time, and I appreciate you.
Oh, for sure.
And I appreciate you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review, and I hope you go watch The Fall Guy while it is still in theaters, because it is totally worth your time.